Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Nasscom Product Showcase series, Rewrite the Workbook in New Normal. On behalf of Nasscom, first I would like to welcome you all and thank you for taking out time to attend this session. I am Sahil Pastrija, part of Northern Membership Team at Nasscom. In today's session, speakers from different organizations will share insights on various product solutions that have assisted them or their stakeholders during the tough times. And we are happy to present the same with you all as it could assist in rewriting the book in new normal. The speaker will prompt for Q&A at the end of their respective sessions, and you may put in questions in the question panel of GoToWebinar console. We'll try to cover as many questions as possible. Now we have our first speaker for today is Mr. Sachin Bhatia, founder Ameyo. He'll be covering on remote contact center solution with Omnichannel Capabilities. Over to you, Sachin.
Hey, thanks, Sahil, and a very good morning to everyone. I wish and hope that everybody and their families and loved ones are keeping safe. I hail from a company called Ameyo, and we are a provider of contact center technology and more recently, onboarding solution with video KYC. And as you can all imagine, that contact centers, when COVID struck, this was one function which was a very hard function to move to work from home. And I'm going to share some of the learnings there. And then there is an insight that we have got from the market on is this temporary or this is permanent? And we've been researching about it, that whether organizations would continue to operate from work from home or would go back to the old normal, or is there a new normal? And what are the advantages, disadvantages of that? So, and then of course, briefly about how we have been bringing out new solutions to cater to the new normal. Very brief introduction. I'm one of the founders. I currently head global sales and marketing. An engineer at heart, love products, and have traveled to about 50 countries for Ameyo. So let me quickly share the agenda. The first part, we want to discuss what were the reactions from the contact center. And Nasscom has a lot of IT-enabled services as their members, and I'm assuming a lot of you are already there. And there was this immediate reaction when government announced, and in some cases even before that, like Ameyo moved to work from home a week before the Prime Minister announced the Janta curfew. The second part, we're going to cover that in this, they call it a socially distant world. I would call it a physically distant world. What's the changing role of the contact center? Is there a disruption happening in the business model? And we believe that this is going to be a huge opportunity for people who can change how contact centers are running. And then a bit about our solutions for the remote workforce. So the first reaction, everybody, of course, wanted the contact centers to keep operating because there was no physical contact possible. So contact center was sort of the what I would call the last line of engagement, a human-to-human engagement that existed between business to consumers. And the initial reactions we saw was in the SMB, a lot of contact centers shut down. There was a TRAI regulation, which I think the government and the regulator responded very fast in opening up. Now you could run contact centers on a VPN kind of setup and route calls to home. There was serious operational efficiency issues around how do you monitor this, because contact center is such a closely knit unit that if I'm a team leader, I would buddy up with my agent and sort of take him for a one-on-one if a feedback is required. How do you run all this completely remote? And then there were these obvious actionables of setting up VPN access, giving agents laptops, and in some cases high bandwidth VPN routers, and have that BCP plan running that contact center can now operate. And I think we have crossed that stage. Most contact centers in most verticals are operational today. A little bit sometimes under efficiency, sometimes a little bit of tweaking on the solution, but it's working, right? There was another reaction from enterprises, which is that, hey, this is our opportunity to digitize And why don't we enable our customers to do self-service? Why don't we implement bots? And I think all those suggestions are good. But if you look at a little bit of psychology, the need for a human-to-human interaction is actually more than ever, because the physical interaction, whether it's branch, whether it's field visits, is almost zero. So in the contact center also, if it's the bot which comes in the front, that actual human-to-human engagement completely goes off. So we believe that, especially in the three use cases of sales, onboarding, or service and collections, contact center is going to get the center stage, right? So some of these functions were support functions when they were running through the contact center, but you would actually see sales being driven, customers being onboarded, service being completely dissipated, and collections being completely owned by the contact center more than ever, which is a huge opportunity of this function, to have that cost center to profit center kind of movement. And customers are looking for real engagements today. What is the disruption that we are talking about? Whether this is short term, let's say tomorrow the government announces, and we all see that the COVID cases have gone down. Would it change? Infrastructure is about 25% of agent salary in a contact center, which is, if you look at from a bottom line perspective, a 12.5 to 15% bottom line impact. This is huge. Folks who can transition this to a hybrid model, or mostly remote model, would have a 10% to 15% bottom line advantage, which in this business could be the unique differentiator that a business needs in their strategy. What is it that we do for contact centers across all channels, whether it's email, voice, chat, social, and more recently WhatsApp, Instagram, and video? If your customers are engaging with humans on the other side, and maybe a bot in the middle, to sort of basic inquiry and then routing, Ameyo gives you a 360-degree view of the customer across these channels and helps you route these channels, route these interactions on different channels to the best possible agent. We also have a proactive outbound solution, which does which augments the sales use case. There are three things that we have observed as unique challenges for remote contact centers. The first is, what if the agent is saying, I'm not able to log in? In case of an office, the IT guy is able to manage that through network monitoring and a physical touch. But how does that happen in a remote contact center? How do you monitor at scale the operations that you were running in on-prem, right? How do you bring that collaboration into it? And then in some cases, we have seen that field use cases are being used to move to contact center. There are no laptops. There is augmentation on network required. What if they don't have broadband? Can you run everything on a mobile? So we saw these three unique challenges. Over what we were doing, we serve over 2,000 customers today in the contact center space, and we've come out with some of the solutions to these problems. The first is, today we monitor about 15 infrastructure parameters, including device, network, application, CPU on a mobile, to the application availability, right? So how do you make sure that there is trust in the network? The second is having multiple levels of dashboards, whether it's operational, which is average handling time, drop-offs, to business KPIs, sales conversion, lead conversion. How do you make them accessible across the team so that collaboration can happen faster? And then we launched an Android-based app on which you could actually run a complete contact center capability from an agent's view. So on the left screenshot, you see Salesforce application integrated with a floating CTI widget. The agent could actually take calls on WebRTC or on mobile network and still have those automated data collection as well as customer pop-up happening on the mobile. There is a video of that, but I might actually run out of time. We want to make sure everybody gets about 10 minutes. So let me just move forward. Till about last week, we moved 100 plus businesses to work from home on the contact center side with 50,000 plus agents. Some of the names are mentioned here. Large ones you might recognize. Byju's, which is using it for lead to appointment conversion. Akash, which is using it for onboarding of new customers. GT Bank, which is using it for all three use cases in Nigeria. So across the world, we have seen the work from home movement happening. and then a little bit about Ameyo.